Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let's talk some boxing. Now, Oleksandr Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. Is this going to be the toughest boxer or the best boxer that AJ has faced and perhaps will ever face? And this is down to a technical side. I mean, there are other boxers who are gifted, but they also have other attributes like maybe the power, the speed, the movement, and also the durability, the size as well. I mean, Klitschko is a good boxer, but he is a safety first boxer. He does seem to fight a certain way, and that did mean he was a world champion, a three-time world champion, unified as well, and reigned for what, 9 years. He had incredible punching power, wasn't the most durable of fighters, but he adapted his boxing game to suit a style that would mean he was able to get the victory using his size, using his stature, and that punching power, the 1-2, the jab as well, to nullify his opponent. Also, having a very good left hand as well. That's what he knocked Kubrat Pulev out with. That was one punch that seemed to land all the time in that contest. So there were certain things he added to his game. Things changed after he suffered 3 knockout losses early on in his career, then didn't get stopped again until Anthony Joshua came along. So he adjusted his style to suit his strengths. Now, that is something that Usyk has already done. He has yet to suffer a defeat in the pro game, but he hasn't needed that to make him change at all. Usyk is already a complete fighter. He has an incredible amateur pedigree, probably better than Anthony Joshua's. Well, not probably, it is, just down to the fact that he was fighting for longer in the amateurs, and he has so many more fights. I mean, Anthony Joshua doesn't have half as many fights as Usyk had in the amateur game, so that does make a difference when perfecting his boxing ability. Also, he had that World Series of Boxing that he went into and beat Joe Joyce, so he has all of that experience, then going into the pro game, becoming cruiserweight champion, undisputed, and now moving on to the heavyweights. The thing is now with Usyk is he will have to adjust his boxing game. What worked for him down at cruiserweight won't necessarily work for him up at heavyweight, and we are already starting to see little glimpses of that in the Chaz Witherspoon fight, where Witherspoon didn't really represent all that much resistance to him, but definitely in the Chisora fight. That was a tough contest for Usyk, and he was trying to fight Chisora's way, so you are already seeing him making little adjustments and changing the way he fights, because perhaps that's what he has to do. Now, will he fight similar to that in the AJ fight? I don't think so. I think we will get more of a measured Usyk. I think he will be similar to what he was down at cruiserweight with little adjustments, because at elite level it is down to the fine margins, and the little things really do count at this level. So he is heavier, and we know that. I don't think that that is going to be a major factor. I think that he is filling out into the heavyweight division. He doesn't have to make weight anymore, which I would imagine is a relief for him. So he doesn't have to make weight, and that is why he is filling out. Also, he probably does want to be a little bit stronger when he gets up close to his opponent, but is he really going to want to be that close to Anthony Joshua, especially with that uppercut, which we did see utilised a lot more in the Pulev fight? He threw it time and time again, especially in that third round when he got Pulev hurt. So in this one, I believe we can expect to see it once again. And the thing is with Usyk is he does get hit. We saw that in the Chisora fight, and we saw it in the Tony Bellew fight. Now, if those guys can catch him, Anthony Joshua will also be able to, because AJ might be big, he might have the power, but he's not a slow heavyweight. He's fast and explosive, so he's going to get his shots off, and Usyk can only take a limited amount of them and stay standing. So that is going to be another thing he has to try and navigate: the size, the speed, the power, and the positioning, because Anthony Joshua might not have feet that are as fast as Usyk's, but he does have very good positioning, and that will serve him well when he's in there with a fighter who is extremely good with his movement and footwork. And as we know, timing beats speed, while positioning can beat movement and someone with fast feet. We even saw that displayed in Lopez versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko has better footwork, he's faster on his feet as well, but Teofimo Lopez has correct positioning, and that was able to counter Lomachenko. So when Loma was stepping around, Lopez would step around with him, which made it easier for him to navigate Loma, but also didn't allow him to utilize the angles. And I believe that Anthony Joshua will do something similar. So while Usyk is an incredibly gifted boxer, and that will definitely be on display, if it's not, then he's not going to be able to stand there and trade with Anthony Joshua. He cannot do that. He cannot fight him in the same way he did Derek Chisora, because he can take some punches from Chisora, not too many, but he can take them. Against Anthony Joshua, it is a different kind of power, and it comes fast. He won't even see it coming, especially if it is that uppercut. So there lies the problem. He needs to try and nullify that, which means we will see a Usyk trying to box more than he did so against Chisora. Now, David Hayes said something interesting. He said, if Anthony Joshua goes in there and tries to have a tit-for-tat boxing match with Usyk, then there could be problems for him. But if he decides to step on it, put him behind a jab, walk him down, pressure him, and land those heavy shots, then eventually Usyk won't be able to stand up to it. So therefore, Usyk cannot trouble Anthony Joshua with that kind of game plan. But if it is a boxing match, that will make things a lot more difficult for AJ. So essentially what he's saying is AJ can make it as simple as he wants to. That's not necessarily the case. I think that if it was a 6'3" guy versus a 6'3" guy with the same measurements, then it would be easier for Usyk to navigate his opponent. We saw that down at cruiserweight, but this is heavyweight, and AJ has a 3-4 inch height advantage on him, and the reach advantage, the power advantage, the weight advantage. All of those things Usyk needs to try and make up for, and whilst he is an incredibly gifted boxer, he cannot grow that much, he cannot add inches on to his reach, he cannot gain that much weight in the time he has for Joshua. It would not be beneficial for him to try and get up to Joshua's weight because his style is completely different, and he needs to be lighter to be able to move and have that footwork, which could be a key to victory for him. I just don't see it. I don't think that Usyk has a huge chance in this fight. There is a possibility. It is boxing, heavyweight division, anything can happen, but I would say that Anthony Joshua does prove too strong, too powerful, and ultimately just too much for Oleksandr Usyk. This could be one step too far, and that doesn't mean that we can discredit the fact that he is incredibly gifted. That's just, there are weight classes for a reason, cruiserweights and heavyweights. He's going in there with a big heavyweight. All in all, I would say that yes, this is the best boxer Anthony Joshua has faced technically, and I think that from what we see so far in the heavyweight division, it could be the best boxer technically he ever does face unless someone else comes along. And that's not discrediting everyone else in the heavyweight division. Usyk is just that good, but just because he is that good, it doesn't mean he can beat a giant like Anthony Joshua, because there are other things that come into play. As I said, there are weight classes for a reason, so he has to jump to a whole new level in this contest. He's an elite level fighter, so is Anthony Joshua, but he has to make up for certain shortcomings in the boxing ring, which only makes things harder for him. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.